Every significant journey begins with the struggles that shape us. In life, overcoming adversity transforms challenges into strengths, allowing us to advocate for key values such as diversity, equity, inclusion, authenticity, and sustainability. Each trial we face offers valuable lessons, reminding us that there is always light at the end of the tunnel. My Voice, Volume 8, Stories of Change, Courage, and Community, is the latest volume of our ensemble series, showcasing the incredible stories of 20 women from diverse backgrounds around the world. These women embody courage, resilience, and determination. Against all odds, they overcome challenges that life presents and embrace success through perseverance and determination. These brave women have chosen to focus on the gift of life and understand that the future is full of endless possibilities. They accept with love and hope their journeys with all its ups and downs, cherishing every moment, which striving to leave a positive impact on the world. Here's something that we've prepared for everyone today.
Unveiling the seven wonders of life, she came as a beacon of hope. She dared to dream, achieve, evolve, suddenly finding herself career rich, child poor. By being empowered by adversity, she developed a growth mindset, and in finding community and embracing change, she went from pain to power, and from self-doubt to inner strength. As an expatpreneur's business expatriation, she was the silent scribe. Did her woven journeys make her stronger? Had she learned the lessons of life to keep flying high? But when she went from being a caregiver to care receiver, she realized edges are not prescribed, they are found. In embracing her journey and in finding the magic of resilience, her tiny little titans conquered the world. These are the women of My Voice, Volume 8, Stories of Change, Courage, and Community, now available on Amazon globally.
And with that, I want to thank and applaud each one of our authors for having the courage and determination to share their stories so someone somewhere can read about it and feel supported, loved, inspired, motivated, empowered, or simply comforted knowing they're not alone. My name is Neera Gupta, and together with Shikha Sarkar, we would like to welcome all of you to the launch of My Voice Volume 8, Stories of Change, Courage, and Community by Global Influencers Publishing House, a publishing company with the objective of connecting hearts and minds of international readers and authors through the power of words and the belief that everyone has a story, and by writing it, you are creating your legacy. The event is brought to you by KitKat Events and Marketing, a company that has been in the forefront of empowering women through a series of events, forums, conferences, awards, even building an online and offline community with a focus on creating a safe space for like-minded women to come together, engage in, and discuss pressing issues related to women. All of our books are available on Amazon globally. And if you wanted to know more about our books or our events or to join our community, you can follow our social media pages. Details of those are being shared on the chat now. After the successful launch of our various Amazon #1 bestseller anthologies and solo books, we are very, very excited and delighted to launch our upcoming anthology of powerful stories, My Voice Volume 8, which celebrates now more than 270 authors and has inspired millions to transform their journeys from ordinary to extraordinary, making a further impact by donating the royalties raised through the sale of the books to Singapore Children's Society to support the future voices of this world. Once again, a huge congratulations to all of our amazing authors. And of course, we have amazing news to share with everyone that our book, My Voice Volume 8, is now an Amazon #1 bestseller. So please, anybody who's watching us now or who's going to be watching us later, please go and grab a copy of the book. And with that, I'd like to welcome the co authors of the book and the stars of today as we hear more about their journeys and inspiration to share it with the world. For those of you who've joined to support the authors, please give them a shout out using the chat feature, and of course, even the other ones that you don't know. And to each other as well, authors, please go ahead and shout out for your co authors. And with that, we have our first author, Cindy C., joining us from Hong Kong. She's the director of cabin services at Sino Jet Management Limited, where she leads a team of highly trained corporate flight attendants in providing world class in flight hospitality to the screening clientele. Cindy's dedication and passion for education and hospitality has even been recognized through the award called Outstanding Teacher Award. Please join me in welcoming Cindy.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Nira, and thank you, global influencers. So my name is Cindy. I'm from originally not from Hong Kong. I'm from Belgium, but I was brought up in Belgium. I was raised in Belgium with a Belgian mom and then and Chinese dad. And it was not up to when I was 22, 23 years old when I decided to buy myself a one-way ticket to Hong Kong and set my foot in Hong Kong. I started my career as I really wanted to always to be a cabin crew. And so with more than 2,000 vying for the role, I decided to chase my luck, not knowing any Cantonese words. Only I could speak a little, but it wasn't really good enough, I thought. And luckily, out of the 2,000, they chose 20, and I was one of the lucky ones. So I was really, really happy. And when I was younger, when I was 12 years old, my mom is a kidney patient. She lost both kidneys. And till date, she's luckily still a very strong woman, but she's got more than 40 operations, 40 surgeries under the belt. And from a very young age, I had to look after my sisters, my younger sisters. And from then on, I always knew that I wanted to be a cabin crew. And this dream never really let go of me. And after, when I was a little bit older, I went to Hong Kong and I got the job. And after a certain period of time, I really wanted to give back something to the community, and I became a training instructor. So for many years, I've been always doing a lot of trainings for the cabin crew, as well as I help a lot of corporate organizations as well now. 8 years ago, I joined Private Jet, which is a total different level. It's a high level up, but this didn't come with ups and downs. There were a lot of challenges during my route. And especially because I'm from Europe, so I don't, until now, I can't really read Chinese. I don't know how I do it, but I did it. And I'm still, I'm now the director of cabin services. And in 2019, before COVID, I decided to open up an academy under this company, and it's till date we have successfully trained a lot of wannabe flight attendants who wanted to kind of like start in the private jet business. yeah, so that's a little bit about me. Actually, the story in my book, I did have some cases where when I was flying as a cabin crew myself, I encountered some emergency situations like an engine fire, where I also in between the story where I thought like, oh my gosh, it's not after we landed with one engine that I thought that this is really a dangerous job. But I'm still here, and this is all about resilience. Also, how I manage the team and how through my stories, more than 20 years of flying experience, where I try to enlighten and inspire youngsters of today, just to be resilient, because life is never fair. It always comes with ups and downs. But the most important thing is to be resilient, and that's where you also set your growth mindset. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Cindy, and congratulations. And with that,
Thank
we
you.
move to our next author, Kashish Sakarani, a seasoned journalist with 24 years of diverse experience who has made significant contributions to the media and corporate sectors. She has worked with various prestigious organizations in impactful roles as a reporter, publicist, and news anchor. Her outstanding work has earned her accolades, including a leadership award from DBS Bank and a Future Stars and World Class Volunteer Award from Deloitte. Please join me in welcoming Kashish.
Hi, ladies. Thank you for inviting me on this call and to co-author My Voice Volume 8 with all of you inspiring women. My chapter reflects my career of the past 24 years as a silent scribe, a ghostwriter, one who has worked behind the scenes, crafting the words and the voices of influential leaders, news personalities on air, while in some ways muting my own voice. Throughout my career, I've had the privilege of working alongside some incredibly talented professionals in radio and television and across financial institutions. I discuss my journey in high-strung, high-pressured, male-dominated environments where it was necessary for women to have a growth mindset, agility, grit, and resilience to push forward and to make an impact that matters. Now, looking back, I take pride knowing that my voice and my pen was shaping the voice of others and their legacies. As I transitioned into motherhood, I too faced the challenge of balancing my family and career life. Many believe that once a woman steps away from her career to raise her children, it becomes nearly impossible to return to the workforce. But I stand here today as proof that this is not true. I continued to work 3 jobs as a mom in the mornings and in the evenings for a few years, and I remained on that steady path to follow my aspirations, understanding the vital importance of financial independence for women. Over the years, I have taught at many prestigious universities and have dedicated my time to teaching children from underprivileged and floating communities. For me, I have only one desire now, that is to pay it forward. One, to empower the next generation of talent, instill in them the confidence and the skills they need to thrive. I truly believe education is a birthright and one that cannot be taken away. So as I reflect on my career experience, I want to leave you with this one quote. True credit and admiration belongs to those who dare greatly, who falter, who learn from their missteps. And it is only then when one realizes their limitless potential. Thank you all to all the wonderful ladies on this call for allowing me to share a glimpse of my story. And kudos to all of you for sharing yours with us. Back to you, Neera.
Thank you very much, Kashish, and congratulations once again on becoming an Amazon #1 bestseller author. And can I request everybody who's here right now to switch on their camera so we can do a quick picture? We'll do another one in some time, but if everyone can just switch on their cameras and we'll do a quick picture. We do have a few people. Yep. Okay, great. Welcome back, Iman. Okay. Bashir, if you're still around your laptop and you can hear us, could you please switch on your camera?
I'm around, but there's a problem with my camera. I don't think it will.
All right,
appear.
never mind. We'll
Yeah.
definitely be doing another picture. So Shika, shall we just take a picture anyway?
I'm just trying to.
Okay, I'm taking
Okay.
1, 2, and 3.
So if you're confused about where to look, always just look at that little light that comes out if you're using a laptop. So then you're looking directly at the camera. Shika, you're going to do another one?
Yep.
Okay.
1, 2, and 3.
Crazy?
The crazy one. Okay.
All right. Thank you. And with that, we move on to our next author, Etty Sepa from Singapore, who leads innovation activities at CONE across various regions while collaborating with businesses and partners. Etty holds a BBA and an international MBA and graduated with a second master's degree in entrepreneurship and innovation. A certified Scrum Master, she emphasizes behavioral strengths, embracing challenges, and focusing on what truly matters while learning quickly. Please join me in welcoming Etty.
Thank you very much, Neera, and thank you very much for Global Influencers for the opportunity. So indeed, my name is Etty Seppä. Super exciting times. Originally from Pori in Finland, from a small town on the countryside, and now living in Singapore. And for me, it was really a last minute thing. I've never really wrote anything myself earlier, but now I just felt an urge need to tell my story, mainly because the condition that I went through with my health, it had been so recent. So the timing for me telling the story was really the right. And indeed, my story is really a survival story, not much of a career story. So I'm battling with my fear and ambiguity around my physical health actually throughout my chapter. And I was facing a condition that I actually didn't even know that a human being can have. So I had a condition where the humidity is getting stuck into the body. And throughout that, I was going through different treatments. And in short, going through an adversity is actually a great way to get to know yourself and what truly matters. What you value in your life and how you want to be perceived as a human being. Life will indeed throw us to different situations, and we just need to find our way in a way or another. I feel really privileged to be with these lovely ladies here today. Thank you very much for the opportunity of writing the chapter. I can't wait what comes next. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Etty. And again, anybody who wants to read about the stories of all of these wonderful women, please go out there and buy the book. The details have been shared on the group chat. So please go out there, buy the book, or if you're listening to this later, just type in hashtag my voice volume 8 on Amazon, and the book will be delivered right to your doorstep anywhere where Amazon delivers, which is pretty much everywhere. All right. And with that, I'd like to welcome our next author, who's Muriel Garderet, who has over 25 years of HR and coaching experience in various industries and cultural contexts. She embodies transformative leadership and as an ICF accredited Master Certified Coach, Speaker, CPHR, and HR Award winner. She's also the founder of DIRA GIR Limited, where she holds numerous certifications, including IEA Professional Enneagram Accreditation, cross-cultural coaching, mentor coaching, and HR assessments. Muriel, over to you.
Thank you so much, Neha, for this presentation, and thank you so much to Shika, Neha, and everyone for your amazing work. I want to begin by expressing my deepest gratitude to our publisher and everyone involved behind the scene in bringing this book to life. It's truly a honor to be part of the project that shares the voices of 20 incredible women from around the world. As you mentioned, I'm Muriel, a citizen of the world, so I live in 5 countries, 4 continents, and I founded Diragir. This word, in fact, is a contraction of 2 French words with 2 meanings: to spread the word and to tell and to lead. So it's a company specialized in leadership development. And in fact, well, as you mentioned, I'm a master certified coach by ICF, and I'm passionate about leadership development. And in fact, I do believe that everyone has the potential to grow. So at the end, I'm advocate for diversity and much more. You are going to learn. So at the heart of my philosophy lies the belief that coaching is not just about individual gain, it's about creating positive change for humanity and the planet. And I wanted to write this book because I would say that I believe that everyone has the power to inspire others, often without even realizing it. And writing this chapter allowed me to rediscover my own journey from a stuttering little girl to a woman who now stands for inclusion, diversity, equity, and sustainability. Writing this chapter reminded me of the power of resilience and how far we can come when we embrace our unique stories. My story is one of the transformation from a fearful child silenced by stuttering to a woman who now speaks for diversity, inclusion, mental health, and sustainability. I'm going to read an excerpt from the story. I saw that I had to be perfect. I saw that I had to be the perfect kid to my parents to compensate for the child my parents lost before me. However, it was not something that I had picked up on my own. It was those repeated reminders that my sibling before me was a girl, and if she had survived, they wouldn't have had me. To my parents, those sentences might have been a simple joke, but for a sensitive child like me, I had a hard time moving on. It played in my fragile mind, the words twisting on their own, haunting me sometimes. Over time, I challenged myself and improved. I did a setback sometimes later when I started stuttering again, but I didn't let that minor setback hold me back. I had a clear goal in mind. I wanted to be a French teacher. I became a French teacher. So I want to tell to everyone that we all face challenges, sometimes very, very difficult. And we all have the potential to overcome those challenges and to move forward. So keep moving, believe in yourself. And I just want to, I hope, inspire you. And thank you so much to everyone here, Shika, Neha, and all our speakers here. Thank you so much for this opportunity. It's just amazing. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Muriel. And again, if you want to get connected to any of our authors, we are sharing their details on the group chat. So feel free to connect with them, tell them how amazing their stories are. And if on the chat you want to congratulate them or any of the authors, please feel free to do that. And with that, I'd like to welcome our next author, Nikki Davies, the founder of Connection, a consulting and coaching business that focuses on building resilience and inclusion for individuals and organizations. Nikki is a certified mental health first aider and the board chair of Inspiring Girls Hong Kong, This registered charity empowers girls in their career development, particularly those from disadvantaged and marginalized background. Over to you, Nikki.
Thank you, Neera. So my chapter really focused on my pivot from a corporate career as I was leaving at the peak of my career to moving into something that was in a more creative space and setting up my own business. So I had 20 years working in corporate roles, really focused on people in the learning and development space, recruitment, executive coaching, and then I finally pivoted to diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. And now best-selling author, thanks to everybody here. So yeah, I was at the peak of my career, but everything else in my life is falling apart. And I really had to start figuring out what was wrong. And at that point, I started to engage in learning about resilience. So I looked at my physical stamina, my mental strength, my EQ, my purpose, and the social support that I was looking and craving, actually. And that was where my weakest part was. And as a result of my learning and my own experience, I actually became a resilience coach as well, which is part of my practice today. So my voice chapter really focuses on my awakening of my own resilience and building on that resilience to eventually pivot from corporate to running my own music festival, where I brought all the elements of diversity, equity, and inclusion together to bring the essence of music festivals. And now I'm bringing those back into the corporate environment where inclusion and belonging is so important, and creating corporate events that are radically inclusive as well and bring the elements of music festivals to corporate. But that is where my journey is. And congratulations to all the co-authors, and thank you so much to KitKat and the Global Influencer team for making this possible and bringing my voice Volume 8 to life. Congratulations to everyone. Thank you, Neera, back to you.
Thank you very much, Nikki, for your kind words and, of course, sharing a little bit more about your journey. And with that, I'd like to invite Lillian Yu from Singapore, who is the chief nurse at Raffles Hospital. She has over 30 years of nursing experience in both public and private sectors. Under her leadership, her team achieved ANCC re-accreditation with distinction twice. Lillian is Vice President of the Singapore Nurses Association and a 2023 top finalist for Asta Guardian's Global Nursing Award. Please join me in welcoming Lillian.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank Ms. Shika and Dr. Neera for this great opportunity to be one of the co-authors of My Voice, Stories of Change, Courage, and Community, Volume 8. In this powerful collection, I am thrilled to share a glimpse of my 32-year journey in healthcare with all of you today. Starting as a nursing student at Singapore General Hospital in 1989, my career has been a testament to compassion, resilience, and dedication. And I asked myself, why did I decide to write for this book? When I look at it, My Voice is more than just a book. It is a collection of powerful stories that celebrate the strength of the human spirit and the profound impact of compassionate leadership. Each chapter, including mine, offers a unique perspective on overcoming adversity and driving meaningful change. I wanted to share my journey to highlight the transformative experiences I have had in neurocare and the intensive care unit, and the lessons I have learned about leadership and resilience. At today's launch, I would like to share a short snippet from my story. My early days in neuro ward were both exhilarating and challenging. These formative years taught me the profound importance of deep knowledge and empathy in patient care. Although there's a setback in securing hospital sponsorship for furthering my studies was disheartening, become a pivotal lesson in perseverance and growth. And in 1997, I transitioned to the intensive care unit, where I grappled with the demands of critical care and the emotional toll of supporting patients and families through some of their most challenging times. And it is not easy for me because I need to balance the work, and while I'm still studying my degree and my master's program, and I have a good family support who has taught me invaluable lessons in time management and resilience. Throughout my career, whether in supervisory roles at Singapore General Hospital or in leadership positions at Raffles Hospital, every role has been a step toward enhancing patient care and organizational excellence. Mentoring emerging nursing leaders has been one of the most rewarding aspects, underscoring the importance of nurturing the next generation of professionals. In this chapter, My Voice, I share insights from my journey, embracing continuous learning, cultivating resilience, fostering empathy, and mastering time management. All these lessons have not only shaped my career, but also my approach to leadership. I want to thank all of you for joining me today. I hope my experience offer inspiration and practical insights for your own professional path. Remember, leadership is about making a difference through your actions and values. Keep learning, stay resilient, and strive for excellence. I would like to end with Florence Nightingale quote, "Let us never consider ourselves finished nurses. We must be learning all of our lives." In sharing my experience, I hope to inspire all of you to pursue your passions with dedication and resilience. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lillian, for that. And with that, I'd like to invite our next author, Sheila Padman from Singapore, who is a talent and learning professional dedicated to empowering individuals to unlock their full potential. With over 20 years of experience across various industries and geographies, she advocates for mental health care as essential for success. To further her ability to make a difference, Sheila is currently pursuing a degree in counseling at the Singapore University of Social Sciences. Over to you, Sheila.
Thank you very much, Nira, and thank you, Shika, for reaching out to me um, in the earlier stages to ask if I would like to contribute to this book. Contributing to my voice was not as easy as I thought it would be. So I've written before, I've published, um, I've co-authored, and it always came easy. My voice was a story that's so personal. It's me writing about me, really raw, and it couldn't have come at a better time. It came at a time where I was going through conflicting emotions, where I was understanding people better, where I was learning a little bit more about myself. And I just put it all out in writing. It took me a while. And to be very honest, I did not do a recheck. I did not do a reread. I was contemplating on rereading it before coming in for the session. I'm like, no, I need to leave it until I receive the physical book and then reflect on it. I've entitled my chapter as Stronger because I believe that every experience that we have in life, be it career, be it health in actual life, the family, everything that's within or not within our control, it's a lesson for us to emerge stronger. And women somehow have to fight a little bit harder than the men to come across as stronger, to be seen, to be heard. We've got more instances of toxic environments. We also have more instances of people extending their hand in kindness. So we get the full range. Stronger is my reflection from as far back as I can remember up till the date where I submitted the chapter. It includes all of the influences that's out of our control, be it the phases of the moon or the current economic situation, our feelings at that point. That was me as raw as I can be at that very moment. So I thank the global influencers for giving me a chance to share this story. And I hope that the rest of you who read it pick it up and have that moment of reflection where you go, I have had this and I've also come out stronger. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sheila. And of course, if you like to read Sheila's story and all the other amazing authors, have a copy of the book hashtag My Voice Volume 8. And with that, I'd like to introduce Sweet Ting Fu, a visionary marketing leader from Singapore with 25 years of experience in transformative leadership roles at multinational corporations. Her strategic foresight and data driven insights have successfully repositioned brands globally while maintaining local relevance. She is recognized as one of Asia's top 50 most influential and purposeful CMOs. Please join me in welcoming Shu Ting.
Hi everyone. Thank you, Nira, and thank you, Shika, for this amazing opportunity of inviting me on calls on writing this chapter. I mean, I'm a seasoned marketer. I'm been very seasoned in speaking in forums and and actually being in panels talking about marketing. But this opportunity is something that has never been done ever before, and it all started with Nira giving me a call and asking me to tell my story. Very similar to Sheila, this is the story that really talks about my vulnerability and all the way back to my battle with my mom, who has passed away 8 years ago, since I was a 6 years old kid. I wanted to tell this story purely because this incident of what I call, self-doubt to inner strength, titling this chapter, actually helps me embrace my own vulnerability and turn out to be a stronger, human-centric leader. A little bit of the story, I'm very much driven by purpose, and my purpose is about unleashing people's potential to build great business and brands with soul. But interestingly, while I help in unleashing everybody's potential, I wasn't really accepting my own potential purely because of this 6 years old incident that I had with my mother. When my mother passed away 9 years ago, in a very short 2 months' time, I managed to, confront fears with my mom. And thereafter, my leadership mode actually changes quite massively, both at home and externally. What I hope everyone can learn from this chapter is that even how great a leader can be, they have their own vulnerabilities. And I want to use my voice in terms of self-doubt to inner strength to really inspire young Gen Z youth to really embrace their own authenticity and to actually not try to compete according to the rat race, but really celebrate their own strength, own authenticity, accept their own vulnerability, and find the best version of themselves. So thank you, everyone, and thank you to be able to be in this forum with all these amazing ladies, and look forward to reading all their stories. Thank you.
Thank you very much for sharing your amazing story. And again, anybody who wants to read the stories, please feel free to grab a copy of the book, and of course, feel free to cheer for all of our authors on the group chat. And with that, I'd like to invite our next author, Vidisha Banerjee from India. She's a speaker and a certified PCC level ICF coach with a master's degree in design thinking. With over 20 years of experience, she drives transformative organizational culture change, spearheads DEI initiatives, and formulates impactful HR strategies. Passionate about fostering gender diversity and supporting the LGBTQIA plus community, she also engages in social responsibility by mentoring youth and women. Over to you, Vidisha.
Thank you, Neera. Thank you, Shikha. I still remember the day when we got in touch, and I get goosebumps because I was so unsure of doing it at that point. And just like all my other co-authors, I always had this in my mind that, is this the right thing to do? Should I share a part of my story? Because my story, interestingly, has nothing to do with my corporate career. My story is something so personal to me, wherein I actually almost lost my life, right? And that's what I've written about in this book way back in 2015. I was given a second chance. And at that time, I decided to make the most of it and make some changes which left a lasting impact on me to make my life better. This life altering event that I went through was the beginning of my transformative journey. I decided to tell this story and I called it the 7 wonders of my life that sort of changed the way I live today. And I understood at that point that setbacks are a part of life, and developing resilience and learning from challenges and adapting to adversity is something that we all need to do. I'd like to read a little excerpt from my book. Looking back, the surgery was the easiest part. The road to recovery was the toughest battle of my life, the fight to stay alive. My heart failed to beat on its own, signaling the possibility of living with a pacemaker at the age of 35. Each morning, I hoped and prayed for my heart to recover, but days passed with no improvement. The prospect of living with a pacemaker, accompanied by numerous lifestyle changes, was daunting. But that night, as the doctors and nurses left, I resolved not to give up. I visualized myself fit and healthy, leading a normal life. I refused to accept anything else. Days passed, yet hope persisted. I envisioned myself walking out of the hospital, healthy and whole, like a warrior with scars. One beautiful morning, I awoke to the sound of rejoicing. The nurses were smiling, pointing at my heart monitor. My heart had started functioning on its own. As I say, I was back. My positive self talk, my resilience had finally paid off. The word life took on a new meaning for me. Those weary days of fighting for survival taught me an invaluable lesson. I decided to lead my life with purpose, making each day count. And this is what I have penned down in this book, which I call the 7 lessons, which talks about learning to let go, creating your own inner circle, letting criticism make you stronger, licking your wounds and bouncing back, falling in love with yourself, giving back to the community, and of course, being your own cheerleader. But I think what I'm really proud of, Neera and Shikha, is to be proud of this amazing community because, sitting here in Mumbai, busy with my corporate life, sometimes you sort of get lost in that. But today, as I'm part of this larger community, to share this honor with so many wonderful, powerful, brilliant women. And to both of you, Neera and Shikha, I still remember the day we met in Singapore. And I think the way you've encouraged us and build this community is commendable. So thank you and more power to all of us.
Thank you very much for that. Yes, and I remember that amazing night that, well, we caught up and yeah, pretty boozy night it was. And there's something else that I did want to let everyone know here who's joined us today, and of course, everybody who's also going to be watching us later on since this is being recorded. Now, we do have with us some very distinguished women who have won the Global Women of Influence Awards 2024. And I would love to announce the names of the people who are here today with us. We have Nikki Davies, we have Muriel Galdred, Kashish Chakrani, Cindy C, Bidisha Banerjee, and Sheila Padman. So a huge round of applause to all of these women for also winning the Global Women of Influence Awards 2024 for all of the amazing work that they did in the year 2023. And of course, we look forward to seeing some of you at the events in Hong Kong and Singapore, and of course, on the virtual event as well. And now I'd like to invite our next author, Yojana Garat from India, who is the founder and president of SMIT, dedicated to uplifting the needy and homeless for over 28 years. She established the SMIT Old Age Home and Care Foundation, earning the Maharashtra Shakti Award for her contributions to social work. Yojana also focuses on leprosy care, women's empowerment, and serves as a skilled counselor and NLP practitioner. योजना जी, कुछ अपने बारे में बताइएगा हमें प्लीज।
जरूर 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 मैम। थैंक्स अ लॉट। सबसे बड़ी बात ये है कि आपने मुझे प्लेटफॉर्म दिया है। ये आज तक लोगों ने सिर्फ मेरे काम के बारे में पूछा, लेकिन मैं क्या हूँ ये मुझे माय वॉइस ने बताया। और मैं फिर खुद को देखना चाहती हूँ इस बुक के जरिए कि मैं हूँ। और ये बात सही है कि मैं उन लोगों के लिए राइटिंग में लिखना चाहती हूँ जो मेरी तरह स्ट्रगल कर रहे हैं और जो ये काम करना चाहते हैं, जो आगे आना चाहते हैं, लेकिन उनके पास कोई जरिया नहीं है। और ये लिख के रखूंगी तो शायद ये कोई पढ़ के उनको इतना स्ट्रगल नहीं होगा जितना कि मुझे हुआ है। मैं खुद मदर तेरेसा के ऑर्फनेज होम से पली बड़ी हूँ। और मुझे हमेशा लगता था कि मैं मदर बनूंगी। मदर बनूंगी मतलब क्या बनूंगी पता नहीं। फिर अब मुझे पता है कि मदर यानी कि मैं डॉक्टर भी हूँ, मैं इंजीनियर भी हूँ, मैं इनके लिए सब कुछ हूँ, हर एक डिग्री हूँ जो मैं इनके लिए कर सकती हूँ। अब ये कौन है? ये सारे जो डेस्टिट्यूट लोग हैं, जो लोगों ने अपने अपनों से ठुकराए हुए हैं, जो अपने बच्चों से ठुकराए गए हैं, जिन्होंने जिंदगी में बहुत अच्छे अच्छे काम किए, बहुत बड़े बड़े काम किए, लेकिन जब लास्ट मोमेंट आता है उनकी लाइफ का और उस वक्त वो जब ठुकराए जाते हैं, जब उनको बहुत जरूरत होती है अपनों की, उस वक्त वो क्या सोचते होंगे, क्या महसूस करते होंगे, ये सब मैंने बहुत नजदीक से देखा। और फिर मैं इनके लिए स्टैंड होना सीख गई। इनके लिए मैंने बेगिंग तक की, मैंने हर एक चीज की। और इसके बाद भी मुझे ऐसे लगा कि इनके लिए मुझे पढ़ना है। मैंने वो हर एक चीज पढ़ी इनके लिए। और इनके लिए मैं डॉक्टर भी बनी, इनके लिए मैं इंजीनियर बनी, इनके लिए मैं सीए बनी, इनके लिए मैं हर एक पोस्ट मैंने अचीव किया ताकि मैं इनके लिए कुछ अच्छा कर पाऊं। और आज मैं जो ऑर्फनेज होम में पली बड़ी बेटी है, आज मैं 127 पेरेंट्स की इकलौती बेटी हूँ। तो फीलिंग सो प्राउड। और इसके साथ ही साथ मुझे ऐसे लगता है कि अगर आप लोगों का साथ रहे तो मैं 5,000 पेरेंट्स की इकलौती बेटी बनना चाहूंगी। और ये सब काम करते हुए जब मैं ऑर्फनेज होम से बाहर आई फर्स्ट, तो मैंने अपने आप को खुद ऑर्फनेज होम में देखा, लेकिन मैं हमेशा देखती थी कि सिस्टर, नर्स, मदर्स कैसे लोगों की सेवा करती है। तो मुझे ऐसा लगता था मैं ऐसा कुछ करूंगी, लेकिन क्या करूंगी पता नहीं था। और जब ये करते हुए मैं खुद को समझना चाहिए। उसके बाद जब मैं शादी होके बाहर आई तो मैंने पहले लेप्रेसी केयर के लिए काम करना शुरू किया। इसके बाद मैंने लेप्रेसी केयर काम करते करते मैंने देखा कि मेरे बच्चे ऑर्फन की तरह पल रहे हैं। तो वो मुझे कहीं तो हर्ट हुआ। मैंने वो काम छोड़ा, फिर मैं स्पेशल चाइल्ड्स के लिए काम करना शुरू की। स्पेशल चाइल्ड्स को मैं घर लाके डे केयर यूनिट स्टार्ट किया। और वो करते करते जब उनके पेरेंट्स, दादा दादी, नाना नानी, ग्रैंड पेरेंट्स जब उनको मिलने आते थे, तो मैं उनको कहती थी कि अब जाइए आप। तो ग्रैंड पेरेंट्स क्या कहते थे पता है? वो कहते थे, योजना, हमारा शरीर साथ नहीं देता है ना तो घर वाले इज्जत नहीं करते हैं। फिर डॉक्टर भी ऐसी कोई दवाई नहीं देती कि हम वापस खड़े हो जाए। और भगवान को भी हम नहीं चाहिए, इसलिए वो हमें लेके नहीं जाता। तो मुझे ऐसा लगता था मैं इनके लिए कुछ करूंगी, क्या करूंगी पता नहीं था। फिर धीरे धीरे मैं इनके लिए काम करना शुरू की। और इनके लिए मैंने देखा कि मेरे पास पैसे ही नहीं है, मैं कैसे कर पाऊंगी। तो एक मंदिर की जगह खाली पड़ी थी, उस मंदिर की जगह से मैंने काम करना स्टार्ट किया। वहाँ मंदिर मस्जिद के बाहर बहुत सारे लोग पड़े रहते थे, उनको लाती थी, उनको क्लीनिंग, सफाई, दवाई, खाना, मेडिसिन, इसके साथ ही साथ अगर डेथ होती तो डेथ सेरेमनी करना, सब कुछ करते थे। और ये करते करते जब मुझे पता चला कि वहां पे अभी ये मंदिर की जगह उनको वापस चाहिए, तो मैं और एक डिस्ट्रिक्ट चेंज कर दी। फिर स्टार्टिंग से काम शुरू हुआ। स्टार्टिंग से काम किया तो वहाँ का एटमोसफियर पूरा आदिवासी लोगों का था। तो आदिवासी लोगों के साथ बैठना उठना, उनकी जरूरतें समझना, उनके प्रॉब्लम समझना, उनको सॉल्यूशन देना, ये करते करते मैं फिर सिटी एरिया में आई। सिटी एरिया में आने के बाद मुझे पता चला कि जो पेरेंट्स घर में अकेले रहते हैं उनकी प्रॉब्लम्स बहुत अलग है। कोई गैस ऑन कर देता है, कोई गीजर ऑन रख देता है, कोई ऐसे है घर से निकल जाते हैं। उनको पता ही नहीं उनके साथ क्या हो रहा है। ये देखने के बाद उनके प्रॉब्लम्स का सॉल्यूशन निकालते निकालते मैं इतने बड़े प्लेटफॉर्म पे आ गई कि आज 5,000 की वेटिंग लिस्ट है और लोगों तक मुझे पहुंचना है, तो इनको वो सारी फैसिलिटीज देनी है, जैसे कि फूड है, अकोमोडेशन है, मेडिसिन है, डेथ सेरेमनी है, इनकी लिविंग लाइफ के लिए हैप्पीनेस है, ये सारी चीजें देने के लिए फिर मैं स्ट्रगल करते रही। और आज थाने डिस्ट्रिक्ट में, मतलब महाराष्ट्र में, मैं 127 मम्मी पापा को लेके मैं रह रही हूँ। 5,000 वेटिंग लिस्ट है, आप लोगों का साथ है, और फीलिंग सो ब्लेस। अब जैसे बड़ी बड़ी हस्तियां जब मेरे साथ जुड़ी है तो मुझे ऐसे लगता है मैं अकेली नहीं हूँ, मुझे ऐसे लगता है कोई है स्ट्रांग, पूरी, जैसे ना माता जी के बहुत सारे हाथ एक साथ आने के बाद जो होता है ना फीलिंग, वो मुझे फील हो रहा है। और मैं ऐसे काम मरते दम तक आसानी से कर पाऊंगी अगर आपका साथ रहा तो। बहुत फीलिंग फीलिंग सो ब्लेस कि आप जैसे लेडीज है और जो समझ रही है कि आगे क्या चल रहा है, आगे क्या होना है। आप लोगों से मिलके बहुत बहुत खुशी हुई, और ऐसे ही मेरे साथ बने रहिए ताकि हम ऐसे पेरेंट्स की सेवा कर पाए। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
थैंक यू सो मच योजना जी। और आप इतना बढ़िया काम कर रहे हैं और सेल्फलेस काम कर रहे हैं कि आशा हम यही करते हैं कि और लोगों को भी पता चले आपके काम के बारे में, और जो भी आपको सहायता चाहिए वो सब आपके साथ कर पाएँ और आपको सपोर्ट कर पाएँ। एंड ऑफ कोर्स आपकी जर्नी हमने शेयर करी, और बहुत अच्छा लगा कि आपने कहा कि मेरे बारे में कभी किसी ने नहीं पूछा, बट thank you so much for that and for sharing your story as well. And of course, I also wanted to add another person who has won the Global Women of Influence Awards, and that's Lillian. You heard her story, her amazing journey about the nursing career that she's had over so many years and been such an inspiration to many other people. Now we are going to leave the India country and move more westwards and coming to UAE. And we have Sophie Gavidel, who began her entrepreneurial journey at just 16 years of age by winning the UK's Young Entrepreneur of the Year award. Over 15 years, she built TOH PR into one of UAE's top PR agencies representing high-profile clients. She also launched She Well to optimize women's health throughout their reproductive years. Please join me in welcoming Sophie.
Hi, thank you so much for the introduction. And firstly, thank you so much for the opportunity to write my chapter. It was a kind of bit of a bucket list, and I'm sure, like everyone else here, it was something that you always wanted to do but didn't kind of know how to. So thank you for bringing us all together, and congratulations on being a bestseller. It's certainly made my day. So my story is really one of kind of transformation. I think, like many people here, my story is quite raw. It's not one that I have necessarily told to many people. Outwardly, on the surface, you know, you can see I'm an entrepreneur. I came to Dubai when I was 27. I set up a PR agency. It was fantastically successful, you know, and life was really going on a kind of really fantastic trajectory. So it would have been really easy, and I think a bit of me would have preferred to write about all the lessons I learned, you know, running a company and selling the company and doing it. But there was something in me that wanted to share the proper story behind all of that. And specifically, my story is about infertility. I don't know if anyone on this call has kind of suffered from, you know, this condition, but it's very silent. It's something I think a lot of women struggle with silently. And so I just thought it was really important to share that authentically, you know, because it's very easy to share our successes, but it's much tougher sometimes to kind of face our inner struggles. And I thought, you know, by getting it down on paper, it even helped me, you know, helped me kind of look back at all of those years I spent spending time, energy, money, everything, relationships, everything going towards trying to have a family and the cost of that. So, you know, it helped me get it down on paper, and I hope it maybe will touch someone in some small way. So my chapter is called Career Rich, Child Poor. And it really, it kind of sheds a light on what they don't tell you, the myth of success, what they don't tell you behind the scenes sometimes, which is that might come at a cost. And it's about not giving up. It's about really taking medicine and all the kind of medical advice that you might get along the way with a real kind of humility and an understanding that sometimes you have to do the work yourself without sounding like a cliche. So it just, tells the struggle I had over a decade of trying to have children and really what it took to succeed, which was very much kind of giving up my lifestyle, going to Colombia, doing a very intense kind of retreat and completely a reset of my life. And happily, there's a happy ending because my daughter is born at the end of it. So yes, I'm just very happy that I'm sharing it with you. And thank you so much. Sorry, I didn't mean to cry. It's a very happy story. It's just very deeply personal, and I really hope you enjoy it.
Thank you very much, Sophie. And I believe it or not, my first chapter was a similar story to yours as well. And honestly, I didn't write it for anybody else. I wrote it for me. So yeah.
Yeah, I wrote it for me. I wrote it when my daughter was born, but it's sharing it with everyone here. I hope you enjoy it. I hope it helps.
Yeah, and that's the whole point about sharing our journey, sharing our stories. The number one thing that it does is it takes away the weight that we carry on our shoulders of our stories. That's the number one thing that it does. And of course, in doing so, if we are able to inspire somebody or support somebody, to just let them know you're not alone. Because when we are going through challenges, we feel that it's only happening to us. And just to know that it's not just us and it's other people too, it is comforting. And of course, when we read stories of how we're able to overcome the challenges, overcome, embrace our journeys and lots of other things around that, that's when we grow as individuals. And that's why it is so important for us to share these journeys. And this is what we at Global Influencers have been doing. We are encouraging more and more people to come out there, share their journeys, inspire other people, and in doing so, of course, becoming authors and becoming bestseller authors. So to anybody out there who's here today attending or watching us later, if you too have a story to share, and if you feel that somebody somewhere in this world can feel supported or inspired or empowered, do come out and share your story with us. We have, of course, shared our details on the group chat, so get in touch with us. We'd love to know what your story is. And who knows, maybe you want to write for our next upcoming book, which is Shaken, Stirred, but Not Deterred, Volume 3. So we are looking for authors, and you could be the next author.
Neera, why don't we take a picture now? There are some.
Okay.
So
Let's do that.
request
All
everyone
right.
to switch on your cameras.
So
Monica,
everybody who's here, please do switch on your cameras. Let's do a quick group picture.
Okay, Iti, I don't know if she's around. 1, 2, and 3.
A crazy one again?
Cool.
All right. Thank you very much for that. And with that, we'd like to invite our next author, Priyanka Tikku Gupta from Dubai, who after 23 years of global experience in media, marketing, business, and leadership, she is a sought-after personal growth and self-discovery coach, overcoming fatigue and self-doubt to gain renewed confidence and energy. Her corporate leadership experience, along with certifications in breakthrough NLP, ICF, emotional resilience, and various alternative therapies, enables her to offer a unique coaching experience. Please join me in welcoming Priyanka.
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you for that introduction. And I'm having a little bit of a goosebump moment. Just listening to all of you, connecting to all of you, I think I feel really, really grateful and really, really blessed. I think I might be the naughty student, the person who submitted the story last. I still remember Neera and Shikha, you chasing me, and I was somewhere in Georgia thinking, oh my God, I haven't done this yet. I've always wanted to write a book, and since I'm very ambitious, I thought, okay, maybe let me start with a chapter first. So that's how my journey started. Now, firstly, again, I want to really thank Global Influencer Publishing, Neera and Chika, for this opportunity. I didn't know what I was going to write about when I said yes to write to you. And I thought, okay, I write on LinkedIn, I write pretty much every day, and I loved sharing my voice. If it makes a difference to someone and gives someone hope and inspiration, why not? So I thought, yeah, sure, I could do this. And then I recognized that even though as a corporate transformational coach, I talk to people about change, this year I had kind of signed upon two big changes in my life. One was about leaving Singapore after 23 years. And the second was about my 18-year-old daughter going to college. Now, when I did sign for these, when I did sort of realize that, oh my God, there is a lot of change that's happening in my life, and I tell people how to change, and it's not easy for them. So how am I navigating this change? What are my strategies, and how am I going through this? So on one of the mornings at about 6 a.m., I sat down to write because that was really the last deadline that I had to give to Neera as well. And like one of you just said, words just flew. I didn't read it again. I submitted it, and I think I got very minor revisions. So I think if I reflect back, I really wrote very raw. I really wrote what was really, really, really my story, my voice. And once I wrote it, I felt like as if I've given birth to something. It was that feeling of letting go. And it's just like wishing it well, thinking it'll reach someone, whoever needs to find it. So the reason I wrote is to be able to just share and let people know you're not alone. Also, if in my strategy something helps, someone to find like even a ray of hope or inspiration, oh yeah, I can also do this. So that's why I wrote. Now, I'm also very tempted to share a little expert from my story, so I'm going to do that now. So the more I reflect on these two life-changing moments, leaving Singapore for Dubai and now preparing to let my 18-year-old daughter go, I realize that there is a powerful parallel between them. In both these instances, preparation only took me so far. I had done everything I could to be ready. And yet, when the moment arrived, it was the emotional impact, the paradox of emotions that caught me off guard. This is the paradox of emotion. How can we feel joy and grief at the same time? How can we feel excitement for the future in one hand and sorrow for what we are leaving behind? These emotions are not mutually exclusive, they coexist within us, dancing in a delicate balance. And the key, I found, is to honor both without judgment, to let them surface and give them the space they need. In my work as an exec coach, I have seen many people face these same paradoxes. We prepare ourselves for change, but when it comes, we are often swept away in a tide of conflicting emotions. The strategy I develop for myself and my clients helps us navigate these transitions with grace and resilience. So my chapter is called the AAA strategy for embracing change. And I really hope that if in my sharing it brings even a warm embrace or just some hope, then I think my mission is accomplished. And I really, really look forward to reading each and every one of your chapters. They all sound extremely powerful and extremely inspiring. So thank you again for this beautiful opportunity, and I look forward to staying connected and reading all your beautiful stories.
Thank you very much, Priyanka, for sharing about your journey with us and, of course, writing in the Book of My Voice, Volume 8. And with that, I'd like to invite Ideli Rios Vasquez from Saudi Arabia. She has 30 years of experience in education and corporate training with multicultural teams across the globe. She founded Guapalita Empowering Equality, and launched Inspirisa by Guapalita, a digital platform certifying inclusive female leaders in the Middle East. Delhi holds a BA in International Relations and Master's degree in Psychopedagogy and Digital Project Management. Please join me in welcoming Delhi.
Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. So it is a great honor for me to be here with all of you and sharing credits in this fantastic journey. Congratulations to Global Influencers Publishing House. Congratulations to all of us. And great news that we received today about becoming the #1 bestseller. So I think that you agree with me that we sometimes have certain events that mark our awakening. And mine took place in 2015 when I left my country with a child literally in each hand, 3 suitcases, 3 backpacks, and 1-way ticket. So this is how my story, my 11 lessons of life to keep flying high begins. And yes, before this decision, I had to say that I had a very successful career as an entrepreneur and as an educator. I had my own school in my home country, Mexico. And after 10 years, well, I had to hit rock bottom. And I lost my business, I lost my house, I lost my car, my assets, and in parallel, facing divorce and child custody proceedings. So I took this decision that changed my life completely and move on. And one day I just found myself in a new country with a new culture, a new language that I didn't know. And of course, I face a lot of challenges. At the beginning, it sounded very adventurous. I have to say that I'm a very exploratory woman, but this time was different because I was responsible for 2 children, and I had to be very careful about my moves. And I encounter, of course, many situations that ask me to rethink again about what I want in life, what is my purpose. And I have always been a social person, a person with a social responsibility. Sooner or later, I found myself with this entrepreneurship spirit, and I started over. And this is how I founded this organization, the social organization, Wapalita Empowering Equality. I started inviting people around the world and helping, providing support to women from different corners of the world. Today, we have co-created opportunities to develop leadership competencies for everyone. We have supported women in North America, Europe, and now in the Middle East, where I live. I live in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. And this is just like the beginning of a new journey that is Inspirisa, an app that we just finished to design to provide this digital platform to keep learning. So I'm a passionate in sharing knowledge, in really going beyond borders. And I'm very excited to share this story, also excited to learn about you. And I just want to, from here, from my side, I just want to wish you all the best of success in all your journeys, in all your new adventures. And I hope that soon we can just meet in person. Thank you so much for the organizers.
Thank you so much. And congratulations once again for being an Amazon #1 bestseller author. And up next, we have Bashair Ibrahim Al Juma from Kuwait with 20 years of experience as an English teacher at Kuwait Ministry of Education. She also works with dyslexic students at the Kuwait Dyslexia Association and teaches at PAAET. Bashar is a founding member of the Playbook platform promoting knowledge sharing among women. She's also a writer of short stories and romantic fiction. Take it away, Bashar.
First of all, thanks for this opportunity, being here with very inspiring women with lovely stories and really something we are learning from. At the beginning, I'm Bashair from Kuwait. I'm an English teacher with 20 years experience. I've been teaching English in primary school, then university levels. Throughout my journey, being someone coming from an English literature graduate background, it was really a challenging process for me to teach children, to just focus in one curriculum, to find out a way to deal with kids. Throughout this journey, 20 years of teaching, I've learned a lot from these children. And I've been keen on making my story an inspiring one. For me, I'm always trying to read stories, learn from others. So throughout this journey, with the children, with dealing with them, they taught me the real meaning of life. For teachers, it's not only teaching the curriculum you're giving or giving them the language. You're exchanging experience, you're learning from them. The twist happened when I started a course about dyslexia. It changes my life. This course let me take many other workshops, and I presented my own workshop about dyslexia years ago. After this workshops, the Kuwaiti Dyslexia Association asked me to join as voluntary. I started this path. Dealing with dyslexic pupils really changes my life. I've learned that they are very special ones. They have special talents. And they let me see the field of education with a different angle. I know that most of the society refers to teachers as someone who teaches at school, maybe give their experience, they exchange knowledge with their colleagues. But when you learn, when you teach people with learning difficulties, and I'm focusing especially on dyslexic pupils, you really will see life in a different way. I wrote in my chapter about this experience, how these children affected my life, how they let me know the best way of teaching through them. I wasn't there the teacher, I was really a student with these children. So my life always focused on the idea of how to learn, how to improve yourself. And another twist happened in 2013 after 10 years of teaching. I felt that I need to complete my higher degree, the master's degree. When I completed my master's degree, I was the oldest one in the whole student, my colleagues. So I found myself trying to write a paragraph. I couldn't write one because I've been teaching primary school. My English isn't that well. So I've started a new challenge in my life. I finished my master's degree in information technology. It's a totally different aspect from English. So I refer to myself as a growth person trying to learn all the time, changing, learning something new. And I've always dreamed. So I'm focusing in my chapter of the power of dreaming and achieving. If you can dream something, you will achieve it. I've always been dreaming that I will be traveling from one conference to another, presenting my country. I'm also I love the learning, the training aspect. I love to train teachers and give workshops. So I have this dream that I'm traveling and presenting workshops around the world. And really, I achieved this 1 year ago with a playbook. I'm a founder at the Playbook Society. I presented my first workshop last year about emotional intelligence. So the whole thing I'm trying to tell in my chapter, that you shouldn't stick to yourself to one aspect of life. Don't just let someone stereotype you or say that you can only do this. You're a teacher, you'll just teach. You're a trainer, you'll just train. I'm now working in a new project. I'm taking a training to be a mindset coach. So I'm always keen on changing or learning something new and letting my story to be an inspiring one. When I started teaching years ago, I was shocked with the society and the idea of women's society, only talking about certain topics. Teaching wasn't my dream. I went running to my professor at the university. He taught me literature. I told him, I don't belong to this place. He told me, I'll show you a picture of a successful woman who is presenting a workshops after years of teaching. And when he showed me the picture, it was my picture. He flipped the camera. So he believed in me. And actually it happened. After 2 years, I went to him presenting my own workshop. So I hope that this was inspiring. Thanks a lot for this opportunity, and I'd love to meet you all in person.
Thank you very much for that. And up next, we have Dr. Iman Shefi, an MD from Bahrain. With over a decade of experience in general practice, surgery, and urology, she is committed to promoting excellence in Bahrain's healthcare system. Transitioning to emergency medicine, her focus is now on geriatric patients that reflects her belief in personalized care. After facing a major challenge post-stroke in 2022, Iman emphasized patient-centered care. Please join me in welcoming Iman.
Assalamu alaikum. Good day to everyone. I can't say more how I feel pleasured and honored to be among such 20 lovely souls. Thank you, Sheikha, for approaching me. She was the first one via Playbook. We're all members in that wonderful women-based community, MENA-based and now internationally. My name is Iman Shefi. I'm a Bahraini national with a Tunisian Mediterranean heritage. I'm a general practitioner with, as Dr. Anira was saying, around 12, 13 years of experience between general surgery, urology, and general practice. 2017, I shifted to emergency medicine, where I encountered, definitely, as you know, ER room would be full of different stories, different patients, different ages, and different backgrounds. Incidents happened here and there, and then hit us the pandemic of COVID, where I noticed and I realized that I'm really keen to work with older person. From there, I got my diploma from the Royal College of Ireland of an older person medicine, and then emphasizing and advocating to humanize medicine, be more as a physician, as a doctor, be more there, be more present. It's never a robotic work. And then suddenly 2022, I got this left-sided weakness, which starts from upper limb to the lower limb. And then I was in the patient's bed, in my own patient's bed. It was in our CPR room, where I was actually surrounded with lovely faces, which I all know, and by name, by heart. But then I wasn't there to order them to get this medicine or that the blood test on that X-ray. I was the one who supposed to be really silent and patient to be undergoing whatever investigations, and then again on a CT scan bed, and then again having, you know, when you tell your patient, don't worry, it will be fine, and yeah, the medicine hurts a bit. No, it doesn't hurt, it burns, and so on and so on. Getting out of that bed was by the help of my family first, my friends surrounding me, my coaches, my trainers. During recovery, having said I wasn't able to walk properly, I was helped by my son to just move around, and using a train to just go from room to room. Under medication, under the, somehow when you're not in your own shoes, you're in your own patient's shoes, you have this illusion that it may be just mirroring other patients, or maybe it's just not reality of things, that you're unable to grasp something properly as you usually do. Let's say I'm a sporty, and I was supposed to be able to run, and those days or those months were awkward, not being able to step proper with a good coordination and having two steps in one line, and that I learned with time how to walk again like a baby, and that's not nice, but it's good. It pushes you to actually cherish the blessing that we have the fact that we wake up and we're able to smell and to hear and to grasp whatever you're able to do. From there, getting into all of that made me realize that I still want to be out there advocating for medicine, advocating to humanize medicine. I got my license and training from the Global Training Board and the American one. And then clinical psychology, I got the professional doctorate. Following that, I'm now between two medical centers, a general practice, and I'm always trying to be present to us as human beings and to patients and to whoever is in need. You know, we as physicians, we actually need to know and realize how to read the patient and the relatives' expressions, and from there you get lots of answers, and from there you get to know what you're treating. And sometimes you don't need a treatment, actually, you just need 15 minutes to be heard. I hope my own experience may guide, and I hope my own experience, which is a simple maybe in front of lots of other people, and definitely it was a lot of courage that pushed me to write it down and express it in words. So I thank you, Dr. Anira, I thank you, Sheikha, a lot, and I thank Global Influencers for this opportunity to be a part of my voice, to be a part of those 20 beautiful souls. I love a quote, and I guide by this quote, which is, what we see depends on what we look for, and definitely I advocate for that. Thanks a lot. Thank you for this
Thank you
wonderful
very
experience.
much. Thank you very much, Iman. And with that, please join me in welcoming Tracy Saad from France, who is a seasoned expatpreneur, creative strategist, and mentor dedicated to supporting fellow entrepreneurs. She has extensive experience in building culturally fluent brands and businesses that resonate with the global community. Driven by her own expat journey, Tracy champions the Migration Club, which is the expats, the immigrants, and refugees re-engaging people in politics through play. Over to you, Tracy.
Hi, thank you so much for having me and actually inviting me to write this book. As a couple of people said already, this has been also on my bucket list for a while. And I wasn't really sure I was gonna do it. It did scare me off a bit. But thank you, Sheikha, for getting me involved. And my story is a bit different. So I don't have 20 years of experience, but I do have extensive experience in immigration as a born and bred expat myself. And as someone who struggled with passport limitations, I write the story of how I managed to decentralize my business and my growth and my opportunities from where I'm from or what passport I hold or what my citizenship is. And essentially, it's the story of achieving globalization beyond passport limitations. And it was really a bit emotional to write it because I was able to kind of when you write what you've been through and how far you've come, you kind of realize how much achievements you've been able to do in such a short time. And so that was essentially it. But from a perspective of not only being able to achieve such globalization for myself, but also for other expats. So I write my story not for myself, not just to just write about myself or what I've been through, but to tell other expats, other immigrants, and other members of the Migration Club that it is possible to achieve anything you want, whether that be in business or anything else. And I realized that from this story and not from my own journey, I've been able to help and support as many expats as possible. And I just finalized one recent client as well. So I think what I want to say is my chapter is a go, and it's a 1, 2, 3, yalla, just do it. You can do it, whether that be as an expat, as an immigrant, as a refugee, whatever it is, do it and implement my strategy moving forward if you can, which is 1, 2, 3, yalla, just go, do it. And I guess that's it. So thank you so much. And congrats to everyone on your lovely stories, emotional stories, and on the #1 bestseller. Yeah.
Thank you very much. And yes, 1, 2, 3, yalla. Yes, just do it. Thank you very much for sharing that. And now we move further westward and we have Brianna Sim, who's joining from Canada. She is an award winning journalist, editor, and columnist, expanding her skills to include digital media content and strategy. At 18, she received a prestigious scholarship from Singapore's largest media network, SPH Media, which launched her journalism career. Brianna continuously fosters her growth mindset by stepping outside her comfort zone to dream, create, and explore new ideas. Give it up for Brianna.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for staying on to hear my sharing. I know some of you have had to go off. I'm a Singaporean who has been doing life in Toronto, Canada, with my husband and 2 young children for the past 6 years and counting. During this season of relocation, of doing life in a foreign land, I have desired for community, and I thought that I could build and rebuild social connections the way I did easily in Singapore. However, I faced various painful, unexpected, and pretty inexplicable challenges to this very simple hope. And in this chapter in My Voice, Volume 8, I detail this, and I also celebrate the breakthroughs and various turning points in personal perspective that allowed me and led me to eventually succeeding, not only in finding community, but in also being a bridge builder for others. This story is one of empowerment, of finding my place in the world despite being away from home this season. Like so many of you have shared bravely and vulnerably, adversity can indeed birth beautiful things, beautiful new beginnings. So this is my story in My Voice, Volume 8. Thank you, everyone, and thank you, Shika and Nira, for this opportunity. I am grateful and I celebrate with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Brianna Sim, for joining us so early in the morning. And you were one of the first people who were there, up and bright. I was like, wow, it's early, but well done, you.
It felt like my wedding day, like, you know, waking up early at 5 a.m., putting on makeup for this call. Yeah, but thank you. It's really great to be here.
Love it. I love how you're comparing it to your wedding day. So thank you very much for that. And now we have none other than the amazing Shika Sarkar, drum roll, who is a co-founder of Global Influencers Publishing House and KitKat Events and Marketing. She has over 20 years of international sales and marketing experience. An passionate advocate for women's empowerment, Shika teaches financial literacy to single mothers through the NGO called Social Health Growth. She also supports over 80,000 expats in Singapore as the ambassador of Internations, one of the largest expat networking group. Please put your hands together for Shika.
Thank you, Neera. What an evening it has been. I've been patiently listening to all of you. And of course, I've read all of your chapters before, so I knew what you're going to be talking about. But it's lovely to meet you virtually, but someday we'll definitely get to see each other in person. It's hard to believe that it's been over 3 years since we began, our publishing of books. I wrote my first chapter in My Voice, Volume 1, and now here I am in Volume 8, sharing another chapter of my life. Sharing stories definitely is therapeutic and inspiring for others. My lifelong passion for adventure and solo travel has consistently pushed me to step out of my comfort zone. In 2016, my journey began with the 10-day Chadar trek. Chadar trek is like, it's in Himalayas, where a place called Ladakh, where the river turns into an ice bed. So that's why it's called Chadar, is a word in Hindi, in our language, which is called the bed, and bed sheet rather. So it forms like a sheet. So it was such a transformative experience that pushed my physical and mental boundaries. The ever-changing weather conditions, from scorching sun melting the chadar to sudden heavy downpour, causing almost 10-degree drop in the temperature, required unwavering resilience and adaptability. This emphasizes significance of perseverance, during your challenging circumstances. It offered me a unique opportunity to meet new people, build community, find new connections. The shared experience of overcoming obstacles, enduring extreme conditions, and witnessing breathtaking Himalayan landscape, creating a strong sense of community. This Chadar trek has been my life's most exhilarating experience. To live under such adversities teaches huge life lessons to each one of us. But these experiences come with a price. I had a frostbite during the trip. It has been more than 8 years. I still have the pain in my toes. And having said that, I would not battle an eyelid to experience this journey again. So do grab a copy of My Voice Volume 8, Stories of Change, Courage, and Community. Amazon #1 bestseller is now available on Amazon. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Shikha. And those were our authors for today. And with that, I will hand you back to Shikha.
With that, we come to an end of today's program. And thank you so much for joining us. We hope you enjoyed listening to all our authors of My Voice Volume 8, Stories of Change, Courage, and Community. Examples set by these women serve an inspiration, encouragement, and proof that anything is possible when you take action. As mentioned earlier, the book is already available on Amazon Global and probably Amazon SG and other countries as well. Yes, UAE would take some time to come online, but other countries are available. So do go and grab your copy. Please go out there, buy the book, be inspired, empowered, motivated, and to celebrate exceptional accomplishments and achievement of these 20 authors. In doing so, you will be supporting the future voices of the world as sales proceeds would go to Singapore Children's Society. I'm sharing the link again where you could actually get more details about Singapore Children's Society or even for a direct donation. So do go out there, do donate as much as you can, because it will really help these young kids who have had very difficult journey while growing up, and Singapore Children's Society really takes care of them. These are the links where you can buy the book in Kindle, paperback, and hardcover versions. On a popular demand, we are back with Volume 3 of Shaken, Stirred, and Not Deterred. For those who are keen to write your own story or know someone else who is keen, we have few open spots. The contributors for this can be men or women, so there is not like My Voice volumes where we only have women as contributing authors, but for Shaken, Stirred, we'll have both men and women. The book will be released in December this year. Additionally, if you're writing your own book or ready to start one, do get in touch with us. We can help make your dream come true. You can also watch the video of our previous events, how to write and publish your own book. I'm just sharing the YouTube link in case you wish to have a look. Also, you can reach out to us. I did share our contact details a while ago, but I'm sharing it again so you can reach out to us. So until then, next time we meet, take care and stay safe. Bye-bye.